Good afternoon, Stuart Neal, real estate broker and coach, speaking to you again from my office here in Highlands. And today I'm going to be talking about the learning that I've achieved by following the careers of literally hundreds of new industry members over the first 6 months. I've reached out to people from time to time to get an understanding as to what's going well, what's going less well, who's having trouble, who's having no trouble. And what I've done is effectively split the population down into a number of different groups. So the first group being those that are having no trouble at all. These are the people with a large sphere of influence. The people that have a large sphere of influence coming into our industry do not seem to be having trouble. Now, what are the key characteristics of these people? Based on my chatting with a number of them, they're natural connectors. They've already built a large social network prior coming into the industry. The only challenge they face is converting the understanding in the minds of the sphere of influence, the people, that they are now real estate professionals as opposed to what they were doing before. But these folks are doing just fine. The second group of people who seem to be doing just fine are those people that I call collaborators. These folks perhaps don't necessarily have a large sphere of influence, but are smart enough to perhaps start working with those industry members that do, or they join a team where they not only can enjoy a program of mentoring and training, but they also get access to client introductions, usually on the buy side. And then we've got the third group, and the third group breaks into, I think, 4 distinct subgroups. So let's talk about these. Those stragglers, those people who are struggling, are trying to go it alone and have no sphere of influence. Those people who are undercapitalized, they perhaps have no sphere of influence and don't have enough money to perhaps keep them going long enough to build one. There's the naive group, unfortunately. A lot of new industry members I have spoken to have or had no idea what they were getting into at the start. Thought it was much easier than it actually is to build a book of business, perhaps don't or haven't taken the time to understand the purchase cycle of home buyers and or the decision-making cycle of home sellers. Part-timers, it's been my experience based on what I have learned is that it's very difficult to be part-time in this industry. Perhaps you might get away with it as a team member, but it's very difficult to be part-time in this industry and build a sphere. And then there's adapters, and adapters are perhaps the most positive subgroup within what I call the straggler community. These are the folks that have realized that whatever they've been doing is not working, and they start to think about making some changes. For those who like to read, there's a link to a blog post at the bottom, of this video. And you can click on the link and read that. If you have any specific questions about your situation, if you'd like perhaps a fresh set of eyes on your particular situation, you're welcome to call me. There's no fee or obligation. I just want to help. And I can be reached at 780-760-2014 extension 3. Reach out to me anytime. I appreciate your time. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Cheers.